Hello. Today I will be talking about KESA and how my building, I think, fits into the KESA model. I spoke with my principal and we kind of looked at the 4 R's and how our building is doing. So I think in a couple of these areas we're transitioning. Those are areas where our building and our district is really focusing. So that's relationships and responsive culture. And then there's a couple areas, relevance and rigor, where we're doing some good things, but we still have some room for improvement. So our stronger areas, relationships, we've got a building level mentoring program, and actually that kind of comes from the district as well, for a teacher's first 2 years. We're using some PLCs, both at the district and building level. There are weekly district level and building level communications. So those come from the principal, from our curriculum director, from the superintendent. They go to staff, they go to community members and parents. Teachers have newsletters every week. So relationships is an area that I think we're transitioning. Our other stronger area is responsive culture, something that we've been focusing on strongly for the past couple of years. I'm a member of our social, emotional, and character development committee at the district level, and we're looking at ways to help build a responsive culture. We also took a community survey where parents, students, staff members completed a survey to help get an understanding of our strengths and of our needs. Next year, we'll be implementing Capturing Kids' Hearts, which I'm not an expert on, but I know that's a move to help build a strong, responsive culture. So the areas that I think we have more room for improvement are relevance and rigor. So I think in both of those areas, our building is at the implementing stage. So as far as relevance goes, we have a new curriculum director with a larger role. We're building like I said, some PLCs, and we've been working on scope and sequences for our content areas and our grade levels. And we're also building a strong technology emphasis in our district. For rigor, we are starting to discuss career readiness, and I think that's been a strength at the high school level. So I teach in a 4th through 8th grade building, and we're looking at adding more career instruction and career-based classes this next year. We're also starting to add a little bit more data collection and evaluation, and also a little bit more promotion of professional development. My principal, this was his first year as our principal, so I'm still kind of learning his learning style or his leadership styles. And I've seen a few different styles of leadership from him, but one that kind of stood out to me in thinking about this was participative leadership. So he's shown examples of giving teachers chances for input and taking the leadership role in some different areas and helping to make certain decisions. So when looking at those 4 R's, we looked at a couple of areas where we thought had the most room for improvements. And again, those are relevance and rigor. And I have a few ideas in those areas that I think may be beneficial for our building and for our district. So for relevance, I think we can finalize, review, and sort of tweak that scope and sequence, continue to look at that over the next few years. We can define goals for our teaming time, which we have in our building, and I think is a little bit unstructured now. And I think if we add some weekly or daily goals for that teaming time, we're going to be able to help tie that in to our student learning. We also, I think, can share examples of effective teaching and learning, as well as some digital productions that our students are making to help sort of build on those skills and those techniques throughout our students' time in our building. When it comes to rigor, I think we can go ahead and implement that career-based curriculum and go ahead and improve that over the next year or two. We can explain the data we're collecting to all teachers and share the results to all teachers. I think the data we collect and the results from that data are not universally viewed or understood by all of our staff. And so I think that showing the importance of this data collection and what we can learn from it to all of our educators is important. And I think we also need to build a strong way of letting teachers share what they've learned in their professional development, whether it's a workshop or a conference, when they come back to our building, finding a good way to share that knowledge with all of our staff members. The PSEL standards that I thought fit with these ideas were Standard 1, Mission, Vision, and Core Values. So focusing on sort of building that vision of why we're doing these things. Standard 4, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So really focusing on that data that we collect and how we can build our curriculum to best support our students. And then lastly, Standard 6, professional capacity of school personnel. So continue to improve ourselves as educators through professional development and PLCs. So that's my idea on our building standings with KESA.